day 2, what we're going to do is we're going to start to cross our panthers, right? So we have this small population, and now we're going to have them mate with each other. And so as you can see, I've set up my Punnett square, and I have crossed them. So for example, I'm going to have orange and red is going to be crossing with blue and green. And we're going to do this again with red and orange. And in our case, we don't have to worry too much about the order. So we have green and purple, and then we have purple and orange. Sweet. And so now we're going to select our pressure. So in our case, we're going to have changing food source, and changing food source is going to follow rule A, right? So we're going to select this up here, and we're going to select for rule A. So if no parents have yellow, they're only going to have one offspring per pair. If one of the parents has a yellow allele, then they're going to have 2 offspring. And if both parents have a yellow allele, then it's going to be 3 offspring, and they'll roll 3 times. So if you scroll down, you're going to click on the digital 4-sided die, and that's going to pull you up to a Google die, and this is what you're going to use to roll. So you click the button, and so going back to our offspring, we see that none of mine have yellow. So all of them are going to have 1 offspring. So I'm going to just circle that here. And they're only going to have 1 roll die. So now going back, I'm going to roll. And we're going to see that I have a 2. So now I'm going to cross to where my alleles match in the second square. So it is a blue and a red combination. And so we're going to have my offspring be a blue and red. And then what we have here is crossing again, gonna roll. This is 4. So randomly, we're gonna meet in the middle. And so we have a red and orange combination for the offspring. And then I'm gonna roll again for this last cross. And what we're gonna see is they're meeting in 1. And so it's gonna be the green and the purple. So they're gonna have P and G, and that's gonna be my offspring for this next location. So once we have crossed our parents, you will see the offspring. So I have put out the beads to match the color of the offspring. And so this is generation 2. So next we are going to count and put in our alleles into our spreadsheet. And so in generation 2, what we have in the population is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 red.
Be sure that you only count and input the offspring into the table. Again, please do not count all the beads, just count and input the offspring, just the offspring, into the table.
And then green, 1, 2, 3, 3 green. And then we have 1, 2, and 3 purples. Okay, so now we are moving on to generation 3 and 4. And because this is our animal population, they are going to be mating and mixing. So what we're going to do is we are just taking random panthers, and we are just crossing them again. Right? And so again, the same rule applies, that if, for example, we have no yellow, we only have 1 pair and 1 offspring per pair. Okay. And the other thing to note is if you have a odd number, this one gets taken out because we just assume that they have not found a pair and therefore they're not mating. And so now we do the cross again. So you go back to your Google Die. You can make sure you write in here as well. So we got PG crossing with PG. And then we will cross, do a roll. We get 2. So now we see that these are going to meet here, and so their offspring is going to be green and green, right? And then we add here. So we have here, we have red and orange, and we have red and blue. We're going to roll. We get another 2, so we see that they're going to cross here, and that is going to be a red and orange offspring. We're gonna do this again, and so we have an orange and red, blue and red, and then we have rolled. We have a 3 this time, so they're gonna cross in the middle here, and so we have a red and orange offspring. We're gonna roll again for this one, which is a purple and orange, blue and green, and we see that I'm gonna roll. We've gotten a 2, so they're gonna meet here, and so we see that they have a blue and orange offspring. And so now we're gonna add these up, and we see that they have a blue and they have an orange. Great. And now we're gonna count our alleles. So now how many do we have in the population?
Again, please do not count all the beads. Just count and input the offspring into the table. Again, do not count all the beads. You just count and input the offspring into the table.
Yellow. Now how many green do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 green. How many blue? 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 blue. And then purple, we have 3 purple. Okay. And then we do the same for the last generation, for generation 4. To randomly have our panthers mate. So we're going to just start grabbing and assuming that in their population, they're going to be meeting and mating. So if you notice, I am just grabbing random ones, and I'm assigning them to a generation, and this one will start to spill over. So what you'll see is you'll be adding over to this side, and this will be our last pair. So again, make sure you're documenting. We got purple and green, and we have blue and red. We have orange and red mating with red and blue. We have red and orange mating with blue and green. We have a homozygous for green mating with green and purple. We have a purple and orange combination mating with the orange and blue combination. And so then we have red and orange also mating with the orange and red. So now what we're doing is we're going back in, and we're going to go back to our die, and we're going to cross, because again there's no yellow, so all of them have just one offspring. And then we're going to begin to roll. And so this has 3, so they're meeting in the 3, so this is a red and purple combination. We're rolling again. They're meeting at 4, so this is a red and blue combination. There's another 4, so now this is an orange and green combination. We have a 2, so this is a green and green combination. So this is another 2, so this is an orange and orange combination. And last but certainly not least, we have a 1, which is going to give us a red and orange combination. And so at this point, we can start to do our combinations. We have orange and green. We have green and green. We have orange and orange. And then we have a red and orange combination. Okay. So again, you're going to go back to your spreadsheet and you are going to count the number. So how many red do we have in our
Here
population?
you're going to
1, 2,
count
3, 4,
just the
5,
offspring.
6,
Please
7,
do not count all the
8,
beads.
9.
Just count and input the offspring into the
How
table.
many orange do we have? 1, 2,
All right,
3,
again,
4, 5, 6, 7.
please do not count all the
8, 9,
beads.
10.
Just count
10
the
in our
offspring, and
population.
that number is where you're
And
gonna
then how many yellow? We
input
still
into the
continue to
table.
have
Not the
0
whole
yellow in our
population, but just the
And
offspring.
then
Just
green,
count
we have 1,
the
2,
number
3, 4,
of
5,
reds,
6,
of the
7,
offspring,
8
the numbers
green.
of blue, etc. But just the
And
offspring.
then we have our blue. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 blue. And then how many purple? 1, 2, 3, 4. Only 4 purple. So now, when we go down to our graph, what you're going to see is over the years what has occurred. So we see that initially the green, blue, and purple all had the same allele frequency, but over time the green increased, the blue decreased, and the purple decreased the most. And then what you see for our orange and red is that over time they stabilized, but there was a point when the orange decreased and our yellow continued to not exist in the population by chance.